The good folks over at the Field of 68, shout out to my guy Rob Dauster and Jeff Goodman. We're having a discussion about Michigan State versus Michigan. Two teams that are, I think, certified preseason top 10 teams. Two teams that are definitely going to be in the mix with the Illinois and some other schools for a run at the Big Ten this season, trying to knock Michigan off the throne as defending national champions and also defending Big Ten champions who went 19 and 1 last year. And the discussion that they were having was basically the rosters here. Michigan State versus Michigan, and just in general, which team do you believe in more? And I feel like a lot of people go with Michigan kind of right away with this scenario. And I think Rob took a different path of it, talking about how basically he would go with Michigan State's continuity over the influx of talent that Michigan has, which is an interesting conversation. But before I play the clip from that. Looking over at stakeholder.com, Michigan State currently sitting at $3.93 a share. Jay Hart, are you buying, selling, or holding?
I'm buying. I think, like, as a Purdue fan, specifically, we just did a Purdue video. You're telling me I can get Michigan State at the same price I can get Purdue at? I think I'll sign up for the Michigan State stock, even though I hold Purdue stock currently. I really believe in this team as a top five to top 10 team in the country. I mean, I think as a whole, college basketball isn't quite as good as it was last year. I just think there's a lot of talent that left, and this year's freshman class just wasn't good enough to kind of bounce back completely from how much talent we had last year. So I think a team that brings as much back while also adding a few really high ceiling, pretty high talent players. Like this is a good combination of guys, and you have probably the best player in the country in Jeremy Fears Jr. playing point guard for you next year. So I think this Michigan State team, I really like their outlook next year.
Yeah, I like it as well. I think you could at least do a short-term play here. It'll get up around $4, I would maybe predict here. But if you want to participate in this, use the link in the description of this video. Get a free $15 when you sign up using that link. Shout out to the good folks over at Stakeholder, the college basketball stock market. Now, like I said, I want to play this clip of Rob talking about why he would take Michigan State's continuity over the influx of talent that Michigan has.
Anyone's giving credit for, why I think they're a preseason top five team, and why I think that there's a very real chance that the Spartans can get back to a Final Four and can win a national championship. And obviously, it starts with Jeremy Fears, right? Jeremy Fears is,
Sure.
yes, if not the best point guard in the country, like he's going to be right there with Tyler Tanner. Yep. In terms of the two best point guards in college basketball. I think that Cohen Carr, Jordan Scott, and Caleb Glenn is everything that you could possibly ask for when it comes to wings in a Tom Izzo system. They can get out and transition. Did you mention Kurtang? I'll get to Kurtang in a second. Okay. You can. All three of those guys can get out and run the floor. They rebound. They are nightmares in transition. And at least with Jordan Scott and Caleb Glenn, they have proven the ability, small in small sample sizes, but have proven the ability to make threes from the perimeter. So I think that you have some versatility with your roster there. Obviously, Kurtang, a junior, um, he, I worry about him defensively, but there have been games where he changed it with his ability to shoot. Cam Ward, going to be a breakout sophomore. I know you don't think sophomores can possibly get better after their freshman seasons, but Cam Ward's one of those guys I think has a chance to have a big year because of his ability to rebound. We saw him go 18-9 against top 20 teams last season. And Anton Bonk, who is one of the cooler stories in college basketball, a 7'2" kid from an island called Vanuatu, which is in the South Pacific, which is like one of these, like it's like Fiji, right? It's this island in the middle of nowhere. It's like, how the hell did you find a 7'2" dude in Vanuatu? But he averaged 10 and 8 last year for Charlotte, he's Providence transfer. He's a really, really good, solid, skilled big man that I think will be able to step in. I love the group he's put together, but the single biggest thing is, Goodman, the continuity. They're bringing back 6 guys that played significant minutes last year, including their best player and probably the guy that sets the tone for them in Cohen Carr. And I like the freshman group that they got coming in. I'm sorry if you hear my cat meowing in the background. Anyone's equal.
Cat meowing during a Spartan dog segment. Unacceptable, Rob Dauster. But you were spitting in that. And I think it just brings up the conversation that I want to have with you, Jay Hart. What is like the benefit? Because obviously there's a benefit of continuity, but like on the flip side of it, I could also have someone saying here like you're bringing back the continuity of a team that did not hang any banners, right? They're a team that lost in the Sweet 16, a team that lost to their rival twice. You know what I'm saying? Like there's negative sides of it, but also there is something to say about continuity being able to overcome in a day and age where there's so much turnover in college basketball that there is an issue with that. I guess where do you stand on the continuity standpoint of this versus I guess what they label as Michigan's talent?
Yeah, I guess I think that's the wrong argument. Like I look at this roster next year and I see like four of the top eight guys in the rotation are newcomers, right? Like you're thinking logically, Bonk is going to be a big part. If he's not, Ethan Taylor definitely is, and I think they both are going to be. Jervis is a newcomer. If you even include Caleb Glenn, like I think Caleb Glenn belongs in the newcomer box just because he didn't play at all next year. And then, I mean, if you think Medlock at all is going to be a piece, like that's five rotation players who are new faces. And I don't know if I would go with the continuity argument. I think it's combining the returners with the talent, right? Like it's the bringing guys back, but also adding talent, right? I mean, I think that's kind of the special part about Michigan State going into this year is not just their returners. I think that sells all the new guys short. Like I think if you're expecting this Michigan State team to take a step, like you said, this is a team that didn't raise a banner last year. You need Josiah Jarvis to be like a plug and play starting shooting guard. You need talent at the two guard spot. I think you need Caleb Glenn to be a high floor role piece. You need one of the centers to work out, be a functioning starting center in the Big Ten. And I don't think that has anything to do with retention. I think that has to do with influx of talent. So I think if you believe in this Michigan State team, it should be because you believe in the guys they brought in, not just because of the retention.
Yeah, and I think it's it's a mixture of both, and I think that Rob talked about how Bonk and some of the other new guys coming in I think could affect it, but um I do think that if you do believe in the continuity, there needs to be steps taken, and I think that Rob talked about that a little bit. It's guys like Jordan Scott taking a step, Cam Ward as well showing some improvement. I think that so much focus is on what we're going to get from Bonk, what we're going to get from Jervis, and maybe even new guys like Carlos Medlock that and Ethan Taylor too at the center position. That we do forget that there needs to be some development of these guys that are I guess are coming back now. I don't know many people talking preseason that would necessarily pick Michigan State over Michigan. I've seen a fair amount of preseason rankings where, Michigan State is somewhere between like I would say 4 and 9 at the worst, 4 and 8. I've seen Michigan number one. I've seen Michigan in the top three. I've seen Michigan in the top five, most certainly. I guess, JR, if I had to ask you, are you taking Michigan or Michigan State next year? Which team would you pick and why?
I think I'm still edging Michigan. I think Jeremy Fears is the best player on the floor in that game, but I think you start to look up and down the roster, and I don't know. The Team USA event did not do a ton to convince me of Josiah Jervis and Ethan Taylor, and I've long not been an Anton Bonk guy. I think Jervis ends up being really good at the two guard spot for Michigan State, but I really question how this front court looks without Carson Cooper, without Jackson Kohler. I think two guys who, for some of their ceiling flaws and stuff like that, were very high floor players that allowed your guards to kind of be awesome. Like, I think when you ran out Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper at the 4 and 5 every game, you knew you weren't going to just be able to outplay NBA type front court players, but you had a very reliable, very consistent, very constant two guys that you could run out there in the front court and just feel really good about. And I'm just not sure that's there this year, which is why I think I'm going to give the edge to Michigan, just because I think they have more proven answers at different positions.
That's and I feel like that's a fair take. I guess we'll see what it looks like. I think, Michigan was able to replenish their team a little bit. I also think that, they have some guys that still might be being added here as well. So we'll kind of have to see how it plays out. But I think it's gonna be shaped up to be another year where both these teams are very good and it'll be a battle this year as far as the in-state rivalry. But I'll side with continuity and Rob Dauster. And I'll side with having the best player on the floor in that game and the best point guard in the country in the general. Jeremy Fears Jr. But we'll see how it plays out once the season comes along.